Craftsman 24 horse 6-speed transaxle, replace main drive belt. I'm going to start by removing the hood. That gives me more access to work in and around the motor, plus it'll allow more light to flood into the working area. With the hood open, you've got one electrical connector leading to the headlights that you have to disconnect. This lawnmower is at least 12 years old, and I found it very difficult to pull this electrical connector apart. I ended up getting some pliers to get a grip on it. There's no tabs or anything I could find that you depress. It was just stuck together really tight. Found a place on the motor to drape the connector over it so that it wouldn't drop down and be in my way. I tried to pull straight up on the engine cover to remove it, but it wouldn't come off. I had to close it about halfway and it lifted right off. Being a lawnmower, there's grass on everything, quite a bit of it, so I'm going to blow off what was left underneath. I've resisted the urge to buy a mower jack for years. There's not that many uses for one on a regular basis, so they're a little expensive, but for this job, it was just kind of screaming, this would be a good time to get one. Purchased it from Tractor Supply. Going to get the lawnmower now. This particular Craftsman is made by Husqvarna. It's got a manual transmission, but the directions for changing the belt shouldn't be any different than the ones that have the hydrostatics. Start by positioning the jack directly in front of the tires and positioning the straps out of the way. Adjustable straps lock the tires into the jack. Mower deck has to be removed to gain access to the drive belt, so I'm going to jack it up right now just so I can take some video of what pins need to be removed, what you have to do to get it off. But the mower deck should actually be sitting on the ground when you remove all the pins, because otherwise the mower deck will drop like a rock. Looking at the mower from the left side, there are 3 pins that need to be removed. The first 2 pins support the left side of the mower deck. The third one supports the center of the deck in the front. On this side of the mower, you've got 1 pin up high here, just like the other side. For everyone else, this arm goes up in this hole and it has one of those same pins. I moved this arm down to here and put this bolt in it because it allowed me to raise this deck to a higher level than the factory settings. That was my own thing. You simply pull out so this clears the hole and pull the pin out. Just like that, you're done. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. See how much it drops? That's why you don't want to do that with the deck up in the air. So I'm going to put this back on here just to keep track of it. Okay. Now I'm going to lower the mower back down and remove the other pins. Be careful not to open up the valve too far on this particular jack in order to get it to go down slowly. You can easily open it too far and it'll come down like a rock. Sticking to the right side of the motor, I'm going to remove this front pin on the left side. This deck should be resting on the floor but not bound up. I've got it too low. I lowered the deck to its lowest position earlier to help clean the debris out from underneath. Position 4 for this particular mower. Remove this arm. like so. Got another pin. Pin and a washer. I like putting these back where I got them from just to keep track of them. Move the front pin on the other side. I'm not going to try to capture this one on camera. I'm using a DSLR camera and it's kind of difficult to film all this stuff. So I'm just going to remove the nut and bolt off camera. And everything's loose. Slide the deck forward. It puts a little slack in the belt, and I can very easily remove this belt. With that loose, the cable is mounted to the left side of the mower deck, more to the left than to the right, so I thought I'd slide it out this way and remove it. But as it turns out, it's easier to get to it if I slide it out the other way. I needed to remove this spring and get the tension off of it first. That was my first move. I was struggling with this spring at first due to the tension that was on it, trying to remove it. As it turns out, this pulley is spring-loaded. You can easily push on it this way to get the tension off the other spring and then remove it. Then slide the deck back to the other side so that you can remove the bolt from the cable. Last step is to remove this bolt that's attaching the cable to the deck. Once the bolt is removed, I can simply put the cable up on top of the lawn tractor. Put the bolt back into the deck for safekeeping. Flip this arm back over, and it's time to remove the deck. So grab a hold of it and slide it on out of there. Now I get down to the business of replacing the belt. Even with the deck off, there's limited room to get your head up underneath that lawnmower. So thanks to my new jack here, I'm going to jack around up. The deck removed, I discovered that there was way too much grass and stuff all over the top of the transmission to work with it easily. So I'm going to clean that off camera. All this grass and another small pile that I already swept out the door was on top of that transmission. What a mess. I just got my camera sitting on the floor, pointed up this way. The belt just slips off the end of the pulley pretty easily. Fingers on it. It has to come down. It actually goes up first. Up and over. What does it? What does it do? I guess it could just come down. If I pull down on this bracket, that gives me clearance. remove it off the back or the front next to get more slack. It looks like I need to pull it off the back because I don't have enough slack to get it off of here. The back should be pretty darn easy. Looks like it just flips over the top. Let me see if I can do this with two. Yeah, just like that. Just like that, I had no problem pulling that right off. So now that that's loose, I just got to push it forward, get a little bit of slack in it so I can pull it around the other pulley. That's fairly self-explanatory, hard to film. And I slide out the old belt. It took me 3 attempts to buy the correct belt for this lawn tractor. I finally got one from a guy that has been working on lawnmowers for 50 years. And it was a real nightmare to find the correct one. Even though a lot of people thought they had the correct part, it was just not that easy to find the correct one. But anyway, hopefully you have better luck than me. Not only do you have to have the right length belt, the angle of the V of the belt and the depth of the V of the belt has to be correct. So I'm not going to tell you what belt to buy because the guy that got me this belt had a hard time getting me the correct belt. He jumped through some hoops to cross-reference this belt, and it didn't come with any numbers, so I don't know what to tell you. Assembly is the reverse order of disassembly, so I almost didn't record it, but I did, so I'm going ahead and I'm going to add the assembly footage, but I'm not going to narrate it because it's just the reverse order, and I'm going to play it in fast forward for the most part. Setting the parking brake here. On these manual transmissions, when you do that, it also disengages the drive belt, and that gives me extra room underneath to help me install the belt because there's just not enough slack in the belt to get it around the last pull. jack it up for these last two because it'll be a little easier.